Hey y'all, this is Rayborn the Witch coming at you live from Inspiration 215, and I'm here today to give you an energy reading using 3 different decks, and this is going to be encompassing the 4 directions, and I'm going to get a message from your spirit guide using my friend's deck, 33 Masters, Jordan's deck. Then I'll link in the description box below, and also a deck that was given to me by my aunt that is from an artist in Maine. And she went to the temple at Delphi in order to create a sacred geometry deck. So I'm going to give you messages from the sacred geometry deck as well. The main deck that I'm going to be using is my new favorite deck, the Color Mage deck by Bernard Charles. And he created this deck, and it is amazing. I dream with it. I pull cards to dream, and I also pull cards when I wake up to choose an outfit to wear. Today there was some beautiful colors that were chosen, and and some messages that were chosen. I also created this little box for the deck to go in because I love bejeweling things. So I bejeweled it with a little bee right there because the honeycombs on the back. If you haven't checked out this deck or seen his page, I will link that as well because it is an amazing color therapy deck. So I'm going to be channeling directional energy. So I'm going to be calling in the spirits of the north, the east, and the south, and the west. The north energy is the energy of resourcefulness, will, and earth energy. So I'm calling in my earth energy right now to give us some messages from the Color Mage deck. So we're going to get some messages for the earth energy. Now, if you're an earth sign, this might pertain to you, but these might pertain to you regardless, because all the energies encompass you as a whole, encompass the world around you as a whole. So we're going to get some north energy now. So north energy, or north spirit energy, be with us. Animal energy, all sorts of other energies that are about resources, the things that you are good at, the direction that you need to go in, the North Star, your purpose. So we're going to get some color from the north energy, and we have Heather. And the number is 72, which is 9, which is all about solitude. And the message at the bottom is solitude and diligence. So really working on your craft, really working on honing in what you want to do in your solitude and your solitary energy is resourceful energy, right? So making sure that you cultivate that alone time to accomplish your dreams and to do your due diligence. So thinking about the 9 of Pentacles with this card of really like honing in on your craft in order to sow the crops that you want to create on your own, and being steadfast in that as well. I love that energy. It also has that brown color, that kind of deep kind of purpley brown, which is also a really great color to go with. So there's a lot of numbers here that go with the magic, and also the message itself. And I didn't even see the message before I saw the number, and I know that number 9 for me is always about the Hermit energy, or the 9 of Pentacles energy. So now we're going to call in our East spirits. Our East spirits are our angels, our spirit guides, our ancestors. And they're definitely with us right now because I just got my shivers. So we're going to call in that East energy, the air energy, the messages that we get in our waking moments and also in dream space to really guide us right now at this time. So air energy, please be with us now. Get a message for the East direction. And we have tumbleweed. If that's not blowing in the wind, I don't know what is. The number is 79, breaks down to a 16, which breaks down to another 7. So that's all about aligning with purpose. And we're thinking about the 72 that we just got, and now we're thinking about the 79. So the tumbleweed energy is a native spirit. So we're calling in a native spirit right now. I live in Philadelphia, so I am on Lenape territory and Lenape land. So calling in my native energy, paying homage and respect to the natives that were on this land before we inhabited it, and understanding that all the things right now that are happening are a direct result of us and our colonialism and our white supremacist movements and ideas. And to really abolish those practices, we need to call in those ancestors, those native energies that are really here to resurrect and help us kind of abolish the things that are going on right now, the fuckery that's happening in the world. So I love that as something, you know, we need to, it's like a tumbleweed, it like blows over, and it's like this deserted land, but we need to bring it back. We need to bring back the awareness of the land that we live on and the land that we actually inhabit. So I love that energy going in there. So now we're going into the south energy. The south energy is fire, passion, desire, the drive, the inner drive. We think about the sacral chakra energy as well with the south energy. So let's get, and also solar plexus, really the drive and determination to create what it is we want to create. So let's get some energy for the south right now. The south energies and spirits be with us now to guide us and give us a message. Let us get a message for the south. And we get chalkboard. I love that. And this is a 37, another 9 on the table. And this is all about developing your destiny. So really going back to the drawing board and thinking about what you want to cultivate, not just for yourself, but also for the world around you and for others and for the highest good of all. You were destined, you were put on this path and put on this earth to fulfill a destiny that you co-created with spirit before you came back and reincarnated to earth. And right now it's time to make sure that your destiny and your goals and your dreams align with this greater purpose and this greater reality that we're having to kind of be enacted with right now. So we have to look at the reality that is, and we need to figure out ways to heal our communities and ways to give back to our communities and ways to heal ourselves in order to do that. So I love this chalkboard energy of really going back to the drawing board. If you haven't created your vision board, even if you don't believe in resolutions, creating a vision board is always so important to really kind of guide your own vision for the year so that you can kind of put your plans into action, put your passion into action. So now we go over to the west. The west is water. The west is our relationships with self, our relationships with others, the patterns that we have, the ripple effect that we have on this earth and on this earthly existence and on this plane. So let's look into the water energy. Water is a conduit for energy as well. So taking baths is super important right now to cleanse your energy, especially for my empaths that are kind of impacted by what's going on. So let's get some energy from the west to really guide us right now. And we have 2 that came out. We have a 28, which is pumpkin, and it's dance for life and love. So dancing is so important, dancing and releasing that energy with joy, and that's the sacral chakra right there, that pumpkin energy. And I love that. And this is a 10, so this is all about your cycles and also completing those cycles and starting new ones and dancing your way into new cycles. And then we also have an 8 on the board, and this is chocolate, and this is all about indulgence and indulging in your self-care regimen, indulging in the things that bring you joy and help you fulfill yourself and your needs, but also indulging in ways that are healthy. Chocolate really kind of can ground you in some ways. I love chocolate kind of sense, warm kind of sense to really indulge in the senses right now. So dancing and indulging in the senses is what's needed in order to kind of move into the next cycle of things. And if you have that free time to indulge in yourself and you know, fix your favorite meal, or, you know, have your dessert that really kind of makes you feel good. That's what's needed right now. And my cat agrees. And I just got a chocolate drink because I was craving chocolate. So I wanted something chocolatey. So I definitely just got some chocolate in my system. So that might be why that came out. But I did get that card the other day as well. So now what we're going to do is we are going to get a message from our spirit guides using my friend's deck, 33 Masters. And these are all sigils to help us kind of also visualize what we want to cultivate and what we want to bring in. Now, I'm trying to get to the 15 time limit, but if it goes over, we shall see. If I have pulled this card before, if I know what this card is. So let's see what we get for our spirit masters, for our spirit guides. What do they want us to know at this time? And we have the first timer card. So we have the beginner's mindset card. And I love this as a card to get because sometimes we need to go back to the drawing board and relearn things in order to emblazon that passion within us to learn new things. We need to have a mindset and an understanding that we don't know it all, and we have always the ability to learn new things. So I love that card as being this message. it is like about climbing, and also, and when you think about this sigil, I just think about like what messages I'm getting. The spiral always for me is that throat chakra. So really kind of like voicing and learning how to speak again, and learning how to speak what you really want into existence again is what comes to mind for me, as well as this little like curvature that's happening with the little box and the need to go down and go back up. So kind of like sometimes we start something and we have this like high hopes of it being kind of something that we want to achieve, and we're on the right path and we have this momentum, and then we need to kind of drop back down and we see that like things aren't working the way we intended for them to work, and we kind of have to start at the very beginning. So I love that as the message for us right now, is this first timer energy. It's okay to be new at something. It's okay to try new things, and it's okay to go back to the drawing board when you thought something but it didn't kind of work out, or you didn't consider some of the other things that you needed to put into place to make things happen. This is a great card to get. So I love this energy as being something that's going to help us spiral into a new timeline, into a new path, into a new year, right? Especially right now. And if you haven't like spoken out publicly about the protests or about like political things that are happening, seek out the resources that you need to fully understand what's happening, to check your own privilege in the situation, so you can understand how white privilege works and how it kind of does a disservice to everybody, and how we all are impacted by racism, and how we are all impacted by what's going on, regardless of what color our skin tone is. We all have things to learn from each other so that we can create the world that we want to see, right? So now I'm going to get a sacred geometry card from the deck Pythias Sacred Geometry Tarot deck. And this is going to give us a message as well. And I'm going to read from the book on this one because these are all just pictures, right? Oh. And we have the Ace of Air. This is the beginner of truth, of understanding. So I love that this came out with first timer. So really trying to figure out like what our perception of things has been and what the truth actually is, so that we can determine the truth for ourselves and move forward with a better understanding of things overall. We have been shed with the truth. The truth has come down on us, whether we like it or not, and it is not up to us at this point. It is up to us, but it's not up to us in terms of resurrecting what's been done. We need to rebuild and kind of abolish what's happened. We need to burn what's happened and kind of really understand why it happened, and be mindful of why it happened, and really seek the resources to understand the full truth of what happened, so that we can see the truth within ourselves and move forward with a better understanding of things. I love that the Sword of Truth came out, and there's this like beetle energy here. It seems it's like this like insect kind of energy. If you look at it closely, it's really beautiful, but there's a circle, and then there's this the blue on the outside is like that throat chakra energy, and then we have this like what things have been built on coming in right here, but it really looks like this, and then there's like the antennas. So really kind of like tuning into the actual truth and not what you want the truth to be, and not being a sympathizer with the truth, but also like standing for what the truth is, but understanding how to voice the truth, not what you deem as the truth. And that goes for me too. I'm constantly in the state of learning new things and checking my own privilege. So I am going to read this message from the book because it is something that I'm not as familiar with, and this is a lady. She wears her sword. Clarity, honesty, truth, understanding, new expression, which is that blue ring around it, clear communication of thoughts and ideas. So really coming together with your thoughts and ideas around what's happened, around your own destiny and how you want to cultivate your success, and also cultivate a new destiny that impacts others in a positive way, so that you're not stepping on the toes of native energy that we need to also be mindful of and pay respects to. So I love that the practice now on Zoom is to like ask like where you're from, what territory you're from. I think that's so important to recognize and understand. So if you're tuning in from around the world and you don't know what native, especially in America, and you don't know what native land you are inhabiting, it's important to recognize it. It's important to pay respect to it, and it's important to learn the history around it so that you can better co-create with spirit on this path. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of your Saturday.